Hello everyone. In this video, I will be introducing AURORA Film Lab, a grading tool I developed for DaVinci Resolve. It takes 12 colors selected from 55 different film stocks and randomly combines them with a single click, opening up a whole new way to grade. Rather than simply applying a preset, you discover a color that's entirely your own out of these chance combinations. I hope you will experience that joy of grading for yourself. Once you've completed your purchase, you should find an email like this in your inbox. Near the bottom of the email, click this View Details button. When the page changes, click this View button. Then click Open External Link. This brings up the download page, so go ahead and download the zip file from there. Here's what's inside the folder you downloaded. The first folder holds the installation guide in both English and Japanese. The second contains the script that launches AURORA Film Lab, and below that, the LUTs that AURORA uses. The last folder holds the PowerGrade DLX files, organized by node. Let's start by opening the installation guide and copying the path where the script needs to go. For Mac users, it's this path. For Windows users, please copy this one instead. Once you've copied it, if you were Mac users, please open Finder, then from the menu bar at the top left, choose Go and go to Folder. A window like this will appear. Paste the path you just copied here and press Enter. This takes you to the folder named Utility. Copy the 3 scripts from the AURORA folder into here. And that's the script in place. Next, let's open DaVinci Resolve and run through the initial setup. From the File menu at the top left, select Project Settings. When the window opens, choose Color Management from the list on the left. For color science, I'm using DaVinci White RGB. For timeline color space, DaVinci White Gamut Intermediate. And input color space is set to Rec 709 Scene. Scrolling farther down, you will come to the LUT section. At the very bottom, there's a setting called 3D Lookup Table Interpolation. For most people, this defaults to trilinear, but go ahead and change it to tetrahedral. Then click Open LUT folder. This opens the RAT folder that DaVinci reads from. From the folder you downloaded, copy the entire AURORA v1.0 folder and paste it in here. Once that's done, close this window, click Update Lists, and finally hit Save in the bottom right. Next, let's look at how to set up the power grades. First, open the color page in DaVinci Resolve. Then open the gallery in the top left. If you are starting fresh, you will see an empty PowerGrade album here. If you already have some PowerGrades loaded, right-click in the space on the left and you can add a new PowerGrade album. You can rename it by double-clicking, so feel free to call it whatever you like. Right-click and choose Import. From the folder you downloaded, open the O3 PowerGrade folder. You will only import the files with DRX extension. Click this top down and select DRX at the bottom. And only the DRX files will be selectable. Now hold Shift and select them, and all 10 items will be selected. Then click Import. And just like that, 10 PowerGrades are imported into DaVinci Resolve. That completes all of AURORA's initial setup. From here, I will walk you through how to use AURORA. First, you will need to apply a PowerGrade to your footage. At its core, AURORA is built around grading that uses a color space transform, and it's designed primarily for footage shot on log or RAW. Of course, you can grade Rec. 709 footage as well, but for the best results, I'd recommend grading log or RAW footage. For this demo, I prepared some test footage shot on a few different cameras. Let's start applying AURORA to this clip shot on a red. Open the PowerGrade you just installed from the gallery. These numbers indicate the strengths of the nodes inside AURORA. 0.25 is the default, so let's apply 0.25 first. With it selected, right-click and choose Apply Grade. This applies AURORA's node to the clip. Right after applying the grade, the nodes will probably be overlapping like this. I usually turn the thumbnails off from the menu in the top right. This way, even on a laptop or another setup with limited screen space, you can fit more nodes on screen. If you grade on a large setup, like an external display, or you use qualifiers and want the thumbnails visible, just adjust the spacing so the nodes don't overlap. I'm sure many of you are eager to jump right in, but it's important to set things up correctly for your footage before you grade. So let's give you a quick rundown of each node. AURORA is broadly divided into 3 parts. Top of the node tree here is primary. This is where you do prep work. Next, the circular nodes on the second row are the main part. And the last 2 rows are the post or post-processing nodes. The first node, the noise, is for removing noise. It's only available in the studio version of DaVinci Resolve. It's off by default, but by adjusting these values to suit your footage, you can get cleaner noise reduction. Please use it whenever you need to. The second node, gate weave, simulates the slight wobble that occurs as motion picture film passes through a camera or projector. It's off by default, but if you'd like to use it, adjust the values and turn it on. The third is the color space transform. AURORA first converts your footage to ARRI log C3 and grades from there. Because of this, by default, the input color space and input gamma are set to timeline. Change these two to match your footage. Since this footage was shot on a red, I will set this to red white gamut RGB and the input gamut to red ROG3 G10. The fourth node, camera exposure, controls the exposure of your footage. By default, an offset value is applied to lift the whole image, but feel free to adjust this to suit your footage. The fifth node, white balance, is for adjusting color temperature. When you need it, turn this on and adjust the Kelvin and tint values. The sixth node, camera saturation, adjusts saturation. Here it uses a feature called color slice to control both the density of the color and the saturation. The seventh node, high soft, is adjusting the highlights. If you've ever shot on film, you will know that film holds onto its highlight remarkably well. This applies a curve that mimics that quality. That said, for clips shot indoors or in low light situation, it can end up looking too dark. So turn it on or off or adjust it depending on the clip. The eighth node, hydration, recreates the way bright light source bloom and breathe color when you shot on film. By default, this is set to 0.2, but feel free to raise or lower it to taste. Personally, when it's too strong, it starts to feel a bit overdone, so I kept the default at the subtle 0.2. The ninth node, pre-contrast, is for adjusting contrast. Before going into AURORA's main part, it lowers the contrast slightly. Since there's a place to adjust contrast later in the nodes near the end, that's usually where I do my fine-tuning. Now we are getting into the main part of AURORA. These nodes laid out in an oval and arranged like a color wheel. They are built from research comparing film and digital, shot side by side under identical conditions. I photographed a color chart on 55 film stocks under the same conditions, analyzed how each one rendered color, and selected 12 stocks, each leaning in a different color direction. These aren't meant to be exact copies of film. In other words, this isn't about film emulation. Instead, I extracted the signature color of each stock and built LUTs that emphasize that tendency. The color space works between Ali's Log C3 and Cineon Film Log. By combining these colors, the tool lets you create brand new colors of your own. You can switch between the nodes by hand, but what I'd recommend is using the script you installed earlier. From the menu bar, go to Workspace and select Scripts, and you will see the 3 scripts you imported earlier. The top one, AURORA Film Lab version 1.0, is only available in the studio version of DaVinci Resolve. The 2 below it, AURORA Randomize and AURORA Randomize All, work in both the studio version and free versions. Let's start with those bottom 2 and how to use them. Make things easier to see, I will line the nodes up to the left for a moment. Keeping your eye on AURORA's main part, go ahead and run Randomize. You will notice the selected nodes shifted. Let's try it once more. Workspace, Scripts, Randomize. Workspace, Scripts, Randomize. And again, the range of nodes keep changing like this. By repeating this, you search for ideal color combination. But going through Workspace, Scripts, Randomize every time gets tedious. So in my case, I've assigned it to a shortcut. Open the settings from the top left of DaVinci Resolve and choose Keyboard Customization. Type Script into the search box, then select the script you want to assign a shortcut to. In my case, I entered Option plus A. But feel free to assign whatever shortcut you prefer. Next, do the same for Randomize All. Something like Option Shift plus A. Once you are done, click Save, then close to finish. Let's check that shortcut works. From here, Option A, Option A, and yes, you can see it's working. Pressing the shortcut over and over like this is a great way to find a starting point of your grade. The other one you registered, Randomize All, applies randomize to every clip on the timeline at once. One thing to keep in mind, to use Randomize All, you first need to apply AURORA's PowerGrade to every clip. If everything was shot on the same camera, you can select one clip and copy it like this. Then select All and paste to apply the same grade to everything. DaVinci Resolve has a feature called Lightbox, which lets you view all your timeline clips at once, like a film contact sheet. Click on it and let's run that Randomize All. Can you see how the color of every clip has been randomized? By randomly applying grades to clips shot under different lighting and color temperatures, it becomes easier to find your hero shot, the most striking clip on the timeline, together with the grade that suits it, which you can then use as your starting point. The custom node in the middle is empty as it comes. Here, you can drop in your own favorite LUTs, or whatever you like to use. Try building a node tree that's all your own. Finally, let me explain the post section. Node 24, post exposure, and node 25, white balance, let you adjust exposure and white balance after AURORA has been applied. These are currently empty, so please use them whenever you need to. Node 26, post saturation, is there for when you want to make an extra adjustment. By raising or lowering the green of gain in the primary wheels here, you can adjust the saturation. It's set to 1.35 by default, but change it depending on your footage and the result you're after. Node 27, High Soft 2 contains another curve that tames the highlight. As you stack more LUTs, the brightness rises, so turn it on and off as needed. Node 28 delimiter reigns in any colors that have become overly saturated from stacking. Node 29 blur contains an effect that softens the whole image slightly. Footage shot digitally, because of its high resolution, can sometimes look a little too crisp. This effect is here to ease that off just a touch. Node 30 and 31, grain and dust, add the film grain and scratches you'd see on film. Again, please turn these on and off as needed. Node 32 printout or Node 33 Cineon bring the gamma back from Cineon Film Lab to Rec 709. Be sure to use only one of the two. Node 34 post contrast is for the final tweak to your contrast. I tend to use it at the very end when I want to deepen the blocks, so by default I pull the shadow end of the curve down just slightly. Node 35 sharpen adjust the sharpness. Use it when you want to bring back some of the edge detail that Node 29 blur soften. and that covers all of AURORA's nodes. From here, I will go over the features in the studio version. From the menu bar at the top, as before, go to Workspace, Scripts, and select AURORA Film Lab version 1.0. A UI window like this will appear. Pressing Randomize inside it does the same thing as the shortcut from before. It randomizes AURORA's LUTs. While this UI is open, AURORA stays on standby, so it actually runs more smoothly than using the shortcut. If you were on the studio version, I'd recommend randomizing through this UI. And if you want to run Randomize All from the UI, click the All button in the bottom right so it's flashing, then run Randomize. This also works from the lightbox view, so be sure to give that a try as well. The star button next to Randomize is the favorite feature. It temporarily saves the arrangement you like. For example, if you like this blue fluorescent look, you press Randomize and save it with the favorite button. Press Randomize again and save any look that catches your eye. By repeating this, you can build up a collection of your favorite combinations in a favorite list. An item in the favorite list can be clicked like this to instantly recall that node combination. You can adjust the height of the list up and down, so I will often run Randomize over and over, save the colors that catch my eye, and then choose my favorite from them at the end. That's a workflow I rely on a lot. To delete an item from your favorites, select it and press Delete. To clear everything, press Clear All, and then press Confirm once more, and it all gets wiped. The back and forth buttons below Randomize let you step backward and forward through the LUT combination. If you press Randomize one too many times and you want to go back to the previous look, these are what you will want. The Apply button in the middle does exactly what it says. Press it and the UI closes, applying whatever LUTs are showing at that moment. The arrow button in the top right expands or shrinks the UI. If you are short on screen space, make good use of it. AURORA also uses a floating UI, so it keeps working even in full screen like this. I like to check the colors on a big screen, press Randomize, and whenever I find something I like, add it to my favorites list. That's a workflow I really enjoy. The Mode section has two options, Full Random and Pin LUTs. This defaults to Full Random, but if you choose Pin LUTs, you can pick which LUTs to lock in place. For example, if you want to grade towards blue, select these LUTs with the blue color labels and click Done. Then, when you press Randomize, the LUTs you picked stay locked, and only the rest get randomized. Earlier, I mentioned that AURORA's default strength is 0.25. That number refers to the key output value of the LUTs in AURORA's main part. When you randomize in the free version, the total number of LUTs is kept between 3 and 5. So with LUTs at 0.25 strength, a minimum of 3 and a maximum of 5 are combined, giving a total of roughly 0.75 to 1.25, right around 1. That said, I think this value should change depending on what you're grading. So I prepared several DLX files at different strengths in steps of 0.05. Start with 0.25. If you'd like to a bit stronger, use a DLX with a higher number. If you'd like to dial the color back, go with a lower one. The last setting, node numbers, lets you specify how many nodes get randomized. As I mentioned, in the free version, the count is fixed between 3 to 5, but in the studio version, you can set that number yourself. Using the plus and minus buttons, you can set the upper and lower limits. For example, set the minimum to 5 and the maximum to 8, and more nodes will be combined. Now, let's actually grade a few clips. First, let's grade this clip shot on an ARRI. I will start with the default 0.25. Right-click and apply grade. First up is the color space transform. Since this was shot on ARRI, I will choose ARRI White Gamut 3 and ARRI Log C3. If you shot on ARRI, you can skip this color space transform. Turning it on or off won't change the result. I will leave the exposure as it is for now, and keep camera saturation and high soft as they are too. Let me toggle halation on and off to check it. I will leave it at its default here as well. I will keep pre-contrast as is, and now let's launch AURORA. Workspace, Scripts, AURORA Film Lab. If you are on free version, trigger your shortcut here. This time, I will take advantage of the studio version floating window and select my color in full screen. It already looks nice as it is, but let me explore the colors a bit more with randomize. This one has a nice warmth to it, like sunlight. I rather like it. I will save it to the favorite list. This one keeps the skin tones, while green in the background looks good too. I will add it to the list. Like this, I find a few candidates that interest me and keep saving them. Once you've gathered a few candidates in your favorites, that will be your starting point. Since there are people prominently in frame here, I want to prioritize green, neutral skin tones. This one keeps the skin tone while holding the blue-green on the landscape behind, so I will apply it. Next, the post section. I will leave post exposure and white balance as they are. I will toggle post saturation on and off, but it does look better left on. As for high soft, let's keep it on. The limiter stays as it's too, and for blur, rain, and dust, I will leave them as they are this time. As for printout, let me see. This one is nice and simple with good color, but I think I will go back to the original. There's also the Cine option, but this time I will go with printout. Finally, with post contrast, you can add to the shadows like this. But I will go without it this time. And lastly, sharpen. Since I'm not using blur this time, I will leave it as is. Next, let's apply it to this footage shot on red. I will apply the default 0.25. For the color space transform, since this is red footage, I will use red wide gamut RGB and red Rogue 3 G10 for the gamut. Since this is an indoor scene, I could raise camera exposure to adjust the brightness. But first, let me toggle high soft on and off. It's coming out a touch too bright, so I will turn high soft off and bring camera exposure down a little bit. A bit too far down. Let me find the sweet spot. I will settle on around here for now. As for halation, can you see how it's affecting the light outside the window? I think I will keep a little of that effect. I will leave pre-contrast as is, and now let's launch AURORA. Workspace, Scripts, AURORA Film Lab. Again, I will go full screen to explore the colors. A bluer direction like this is nice. This neutral look could work well too. Since it's a slightly ran down building, a hint of blue or green feels right. That said, I don't want to push it too far, so I will go with this slightly green tinted tone. By the way, what happens if I turn on another green node? Adding a touch actually be nice. I will go ahead and turn this node on. I will leave post-exposure and white balance as they are, keep post-saturation as is, and for high soft, this one here, I thought the shadow might be getting a little too crashed. But it's not affecting them much. So I will leave it as is. The limiter stays as is too. Again, I will skip the blur this time. But let me add a little grain and dust here. For an abandoned building, it feels a bit too bright, so I will bring camera exposure down just a touch more. How does that look? Print out. The green is a little too strong, so I will revert it. What if I tighten the shadow a bit with post-contrast? A little too tight, I will leave it off. And here's the grade I ended up with. This footage was shot on a Blackmagic. I will apply AURORA at 0.25. For the camera's color space transform, I will select Blackmagic. I will carry on with camera exposure as it is, keep the saturation as is, and leave high soft on. How about halation? Yes, I prefer to keep it on. Pre-contrast stays as is too. Let's launch workspace script AURORA Film Lab. I'd like a grade that lets you feel both the red of the earth and the blue of the sky. The bluer direction like this isn't bad either. Being able to try out so many colors at little cost is one of AURORA's strengths, so do press randomize as many times you like. A redder direction like this is nice too. Right, I'd like a little of the blue here, while keeping the red of the earth in the grade. I will go with this combination. By the way, what if I add a touch of red here? That might be even better, so I will add it on. And what if I nudge the white balance up and down a little? A red direction like this, reminiscent of Blade Runner or Dune, could entirely work, but it gets a bit too stylized. So I will pass on it this time. No post exposure or no post white balance, and the saturation looks good left on. High soft as well, I'll keep it on. The limiter stays as is. As for blur, both looks fine, but the noise around here bothers me a little, so let's turn the noise on. Luckily, this isn't a very motion heavy clip, so I will leave the values as they are for now. For printout as well, let me try a different LUT. Let's go with this Fuji one. I like the color it gives the highlight better. No cine on. As for post contrast, it feels a touch too tight, so let's leave it off. And this is the final look I will go with. And that's the wrap of this walkthrough of AURORA Film Lab. If you have any questions or requests for improvements, please let me know in the comment section. Thank you so much for watching all the way through, and I will see you in the next video.